UEFA Champions League, because Brendan Aaronson had himself a game against Giants FC Bayern Munich. The game ended up in a 1-1 draw. But just let's take a look at some of Brendan Aaronson's stats and performance, especially during the first half. 3 chances created, 3 duels won, 2 shots, and 1 assist. That assist, actually, in terms of chances created, he becomes the youngest to do it in a UEFA Champions League knockout match since Lionel Messi. 5+ chances created. He rated his own performance as follows after the game.
It was tough. I mean, they were really good on the ball on the day, and I think we broke well. We were on the counterattack. I think every time we got the ball on the counterattack, I think we were dangerous. But listen, they played a really good game, and I think we did too on the counterattack. We finished the goal, and that's all you need, and just unlucky not to get the win. I mean, to play in the round of 16 with a club that's the first time doing it and getting a result like this against FC Bayern, it's a dream come true, and now everything's open for the second game. Yeah, I know we can beat Bayern. You know, we know our qualities. We know we're fearless, and we're going to continue to do that, and with an open mind in the second leg.
This is his 6th European match, but after seeing this and seeing these stats, was this his breakout night in Europe?
In Europe, for the rest of the world, yeah. For those of us who have seen him play continually for the U.S. men's national team, no. You know what Brendan Aaronson's about, but doing it against Bayern Munich, doing it on this platform, you saw the comparison. We're not comparing him to Messi, okay? But 5 chances created for a player that young has not been done since Lionel Messi. That said something. And the confidence oozing out of him. I know we can beat Bayern. When you look at the amount of touches he did have in this game, there weren't a lot, maybe 33 if I'm not mistaken.
32, yeah.
32 touches in this game, but it's when the technical, because he's a very good technical player, and the tactical meet. What do I mean by that, Mao? It's the understanding of knowing when to go, understanding of I can't get stretched because I need to keep my shape for my team. You see him defending. They're in their own box at times, and then when they're on the counter in transition, he's one of the first ones out. He's springing on the break. He's so good at understanding the moments. There's a reason I consider him Mr. Football Americas. I mean, this guy is a running back king on this show. I've said it before. I've said it to Sebastian Salazar. I've said it to you. I sometimes have a blind spot. I like to say a soft spot, not a blind spot for certain players. Brendan Aaronson is one of those players.
So there's a reason why not only us, but a lot of specialized media in soccer are talking about Brendan Aaronson. When you're Salzburg and you play Bayern, and you get to dominate Bayern like Salzburg did, especially in the first half. And you are the best player in that team.
He was in the first half.
World soccer is going to talk about you, my man, especially when you're this young. And after listening to him during that post-game interview, it doesn't seem like he's absorbed in his own performance and his team's performance. The first thing he said is, we have to go there and win. We believe we can win. So talk about not only his performance, but his mentality for such a young guy, understanding what it means to have a performance like that in the big stage, like the UEFA Champions League.
And it's really no surprise. You speak to the people who have seen him up close. Jesse Marsh raves about him.
Yep.
Jim Curtin raves around him. Thierry Henry on the broadcast raves about him. Thierry Henry had to face him in Major League Soccer while he was head coach of Montreal. It speaks to the volume of this kid, his understanding. I go back tactically. A lot of young players don't have the tactical understanding of a Brendan Aaronson, nor do they have the technical ability to get in and out of things and the motor. When you speak to people, because what jumps out at me is tactically, but when you speak to people, it's his motor. It's how infectious he is on both sides of the ball. That tells me something.
Yeah, that tells a lot.
Yeah, that worked great.
I would say that tells a lot. Now, today on ESPN FC, Archie Rintoot, who's our Bundesliga insider, spoke about this topic. Was this the breakout night for Brendan Aaronson? He was there. So this is what he had to say about the U.S. men's national team player.
First time I've seen him properly, Kay. Very impressive. Symbolic of the overall Salzburg performance. High energy, nimble, particularly his turning circle. You generally, I think, only hear that in football when we're talking about slow defenders. But actually, as an attacker, just the way that he was able to kind of spin on an axis so quickly, it was causing Bayern real problems, and he had a great chance to make it 2-0 as well in the first half. And you saw the respect that Bayern were giving him in that you could tell they were afraid to touch him in the penalty area because they knew that if he goes over it, if he gets a touch, it was going to be a penalty. So I thought that the way that he was still sprinting, even in the 90th minute, when a lot of his teammates had kind of tired themselves out by that point. Look, he's at Salzburg to give himself a platform for the future, as everybody who is there at that club is. And doing it in that kind of game against Bayern is a real test of your character, particularly at the young age that he is right now. So very encouraging, and I'm sure it's the sort of performance that will put him even more prominently on bigger clubs' radar.
So I do not want to anticipate anything, but that thing Archie said in the end, right? Bigger clubs. You know what Bayern does in the Bundesliga? Every time they face another team, it's not a lower tier team, but teams that are not as powerful as Bayern, whenever there's a star in the upcoming, they go and chase that star.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Bayern is going to do that, but that's what happens when you play like that against a top team like FC Bayern Munich.
Yeah, Archie was talking about the turning circle. That to me tells me Archie sees that he can get in and out of things very quickly. He's very technical. People don't give him enough credit for how technical he is because they see his work rate. They see how honest of a player he is on both ends of the field. But the tactical understanding of getting in and out of things, and we can sit here and debate whether the assist was an actual assist. Did he mean to? When you mean to be dangerous, oftentimes you are dangerous, and that's what happens with Brendan Aaronson. I see it at the club level. I see it at the national team level. He's a player that produces very well.
We can debate the assist, right? How good it was, how effective it was. We cannot debate the 5+ chances created. That stat is irrefutable, and it only speaks how impactful he was during the game. Now, let's attract all of this to national team play. Since the start of 2021, he's been a part 15 of 25 matches for the U.S. men's national team, and he's played a big role, especially during World Cup qualifiers. You know how we say in Spanish, Raúl y 10 más.
Yeah.
Chucky y 10 más.
You say that, right?
I say that. So is it Brendan Aaronson y 10 más? Is he irreplaceable for Greg Berhalter?
Okay, so that y 10 más means you're the best player on the team and everybody else is just there. I don't think it's y 10 más, but is he irreplaceable? In my eyes, he absolutely is irreplaceable on this U.S. men's national team. You talk about putting it all together. You talk about having the physical traits. You talk about having the technical traits, the tactical traits. You talk about actually being a performer. Son's last window, when I thought it was probably one of his weakest windows, he's been probably your best contributor. You look at the most minutes right there with the U.S. men's national team under Greg Berhalter's World Cup qualifying campaign. He's there. Not only is he there with minutes, but he's there with goals. He's there with assists. He shows up in big moments. He's a player who can play centrally as an interior. He gets into the end of things, or he can play out wide and he can be a contributor to setting things up. He creates from so many different angles. He's a player with the ability to have that vision, but defensively give you that work rate, and offensively be productive enough for you to finish with goals and assists.
We saw that stat, that graphic, with the amount of minutes for certain players. Those players really do not have that much of competition for those positions. What about in Brendan Aaronson's case? Who's his toughest competition? What about the pool, the rest of the players that can compete for a starting 11 spot against Brendan Aaronson?
This is going to sound crazy. Often things what I say.
Yeah, we're used to that. We're used to that, bro.
But I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are on that national team. If you are going to beat Brendan Aaronson for his position, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. I don't care if you're Christian Pulisic. I don't care if you're Giovanni Reina. I don't care if you're Timothy Weah. If you're playing on that wing or anywhere as an interior, they change the formation, it's going to cost you because he's been that good. He's that good of a player, and he's got that big of a ceiling.
Other than the number 9 position, you can actually picture a starting 11 and just move Brendan Aaronson right wing, left wing, even as a box-to-box player if needed. I know it's not ideal, but if needed, because Archie was speaking of his physical condition. The rest of the players for Salzburg, they were exhausted because they were chasing Bayern, but he saw like a guy who could go another 30 minutes.
Yeah, you know what it is with Brendan Aaronson? He's suited for a lot of different types of systems, a lot of different type of positions, but I think the system he's most suited for is a high press type of system, or a system kind of like Chelsea plays with 2 interior 10s underneath a 9. I think he would be very good there. For the national team, it's a 4-3-3, oftentimes very predictable, but he's so good at creating with his space, with his movement, with his vision, with the technical and tactical ability of finding others. It's going to cost somebody a steep price if they want to remove him from that lineup.